Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader, with a quick update on Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Here we have the Bitcoin Bitstamp chart. I'm looking at the weekly. We got some moving averages and a couple other indicators pulled up. And, once again, I'm seeing everybody flip-flop back and forth on TA. All of a sudden, the people that were super bullish at the top are all of a sudden bearish, and the people that were super bearish at the top are all of a sudden bullish. And we're down 50% and we're up 50%, and everybody's excited but doesn't know what the heck's going on. And the truth is that anybody who knows how to do TA on any sort of significant time scale is going to look at Bitcoin and price action, look at the charts, and is going to realize that this is extremely bearish, and should have realized that a long time ago. So we're going to break it down pretty simple here and essentially take a look at what's going on, and keep in mind that I do use the same indicators throughout these videos, and they're provided for free if you'd like to use them as well. And I'm not changing around these moving averages. I'm not rediscovering new things. I'm not moving them around according to price action, okay? These are all in place all the time, and price action directly correlates with them. So, and not to float my own boat, but, perfect sell signal, perfect sell signal, perfect buy signal. So, you sold up here in this range. So even if you sold the bottom of that range, you sold like 14,000. And then even if you bought, the top of the range here, you bought 4,000. So, and then, same thing here. Bought the bottom, sold the top. Even if you sold at, let's say you got scalped and you sold at 9,200, you still over doubled your money right there. And then, of course, once again, beautiful buy right here, nice profit. We did not get the sell signal on the Jewel Thief right here. We did not get the sell signal. We did get it on the other two indicators. So although the Jewel Thief did not give us our beautiful clear-cut sell signal here, we called it way ahead of time, obviously, not with magic or luck, but with technical analysis. Grab these up for free if you're interested, guys. But again, what I said was going to happen here did exactly. We came up and we could not get the histogram above the moving average, and I said it was going to get rejected right here, because it happens all the time. I'm not making this stuff up. It's not magic. Like, it happens over and over and over, and once you look at it and you see it thousands of times on thousands of charts on thousands of assets, you realize that it's markets do the same thing over and over again, and the algorithms and the bots and the money and everything just follows the same exact patterns over and over again. So so it's very obvious what's going to happen once you essentially like hack the matrix, and you start seeing the code instead of like seeing what it wants you to see. So but yeah, so we got that rejection here, obviously massive sell-off. So that was a sell signal there, and you remember we were talking about after that rejection happens, this blue slope is going to flip over. And these people flip their views 3 times a week. They have a different bearish or bullish view on the long time frame, which doesn't even make sense. If you look at this indicator very clearly on the weekly, you can see it's broken down right now into 3 parts. The big blue part right here, which is a massive bull run, the big red part right here, which is a massive bear run, the big blue part right here, which was our bull run in consolidation, and now it's getting ready to turn red again, and it's going to be the big bear run. But remember that once this crosses underneath here and has a negative slope and is red here, that tells you that this is a long-term downtrend and it's not going to be flipping anytime soon. So we knew already this was going to be a fake out. So, obviously as it keeps selling off here, everybody was saying 200, 200. It's never been below the 200. We've never gotten below the 200 EMA, SMA. Look, it blew right through it and didn't quite get down to the 377. And again, if you're not familiar with the 377, there's a reason that I use the 377 and the 528. It's explained very clearly. And, this is not something new. This is something that's been happening for months and years. So keep that in mind as everybody flip-flops around in these different spaces. Cash is king right now, and it's going to continue being king. So people with a vested interest, whether it's gold or real estate or stock market or crypto, are going to try to convince everyone that they can get to listen why their investment is the best investment and get everybody on board, thinking that that's going to help it go up. That's just human nature. Okay, you get excited about something, you share it with your friends, hoping they get excited about it too, and then everybody wins, and you all get to share excitement. Hoorah! So keep that in mind. All right, cash is king right now. You know, wait, take your time, wait for the trend to reverse. Let's look at something here real quick. Okay, I'm on the daily right now. Let's look at these moving averages. Okay, moving average cross on the daily. Once the red gets below the yellow, we're in a long-term downtrend. Okay, so as long as this is still going on, as long as, remember here, remember when they crossed over to begin with, it was like January. Okay, so they stayed crossed to the upside for over 2 months basically for this whole little bull run rally. So now we're crossed back to the downside and we're strengthening to the downside. So there's absolutely nothing on the daily time frame anywhere whatsoever on the moving averages that would tell you that we have bottomed or that we're potentially bottoming or that the low is in. Okay, so keep that in mind. Same with these indicators. You know, we did get the nice stab down here, okay, but after that happens, we want to see the blue come down lower. The blue is still below the purple here, so we're clearly in a downtrend and the slope is still to the downside. We're still all red on these, and this is on a daily time frame. Like, it doesn't take long to flip this back over, but you know, we need to see some kind of indication. All this is a dead cat bounce off of a massive sell-off. Okay, people are like, oh, we're down 50%, buy. Oh, we're up 50%, get excited, but we're still down 25%. Like, keep that in mind here, and these are all just rough numbers. But again, you know, we're starting to get some histograms on the 4-hour here and everything, but we're still below our short time frame moving average. So, you know, the reason it always looks like we're forming these triangles after a massive sell-off and we start flagging out is because people are testing the price up to see is this the bottom, and then we get rejected by that moving average and it keeps pushing us down and it forms a triangle. So the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to get a sell-off wick that comes down here and then very clearly shows that this pattern everybody's trying to call out right here is not a wedge, it's not a triangle, whatever. It's a descending triangle because we're getting smashed down by the short moving average, and we're going to just keep basing to the downside here. So I would expect us to get another sell-off down to this 4,800 level, like, you know, in probably in the next day or two, whatever, over the weekend, just to kind of test the bottom of this range again and essentially see, okay, we put in this low right here, we came up, we put in a high. All right, we came down, we put in a higher low. But is that the swing? No, probably not. Let's see what happens right here, because if this comes down here and we put in a lower low than this right here, it's going to look like we came in and put in a high, then we put in a low, you know, and then this failed to get a new high right here, so we're coming down putting a new low, so it looks like we're starting a short-term downtrend or continuing the short-term downtrend. And again, this on the 4-hour, so if you start getting excited and you think, oh, this is it, we're about to jump up to the upside, let's go to the 1-hour and look at it. Look, we're still below the short time frame moving averages. So until we can get the red above the yellow and we're above both of those, you cannot even begin to think that we're in a short-term uptrend. You know what I mean? Once that happens, if we get above here, close, take out this parabolic SAR, get continuation, then we'll pop up to the green, then we'll pop up here and we can retest like the 6160 range or whatever and potentially try to take this high out and get a little bit of like more of a move to the upside. But at this point in time, until we start crossing those moving averages back to the upside on this is an hourly time frame, we have not, since that sell-off, even crossed them back up on the hourly, and that's our two short time frame moving averages. So, like, anybody that says they're bullish right now is just like trying to call the bottom. Like, just stop, man. Use technical analysis. Let the market tell you stuff. That's another thing too, is people would be, you hear this all the time, and this is how you know people are just like not looking at what the market's telling them. They're trying to see what they want to see is. You'll hear people go, let's see if we have any divergence, or you know, let's see this, let's see that, let's see what the RSI is telling us, let's see what the Stokes are telling us, and they'll go between like 7 different time frames. Let's check the 1-hour, let's check the 2-hour, let's check the 6-hour, let's check the 12-hour. And they're looking for the market to tell them something. And if you look for something long enough, you will find what you want. You know what I mean? You will be biased. If you're already biased looking for something in that direction, you look on enough time frames, you're going to find it. You need to have certain time frames that you always check, and you need to have like certain indicators and certain like patterns or whatever it is that you're going to use, and then you use them consistently. You don't just say, let's see if there's divergence, and then flip through every time frame available on TradingView. Like, yeah, I bet you find divergence on one time frame. Like, get out of here. But anyway, crypto trend trader, we're taking a look at the charts here. I mean, there's no reason to think this is just all of a sudden like stop selling off. I mean, it's very realistic to think that we got a massive sell-off, we got a reaction rally to the upside, we got rejected by key moving averages, and we're not even close to reversing this trend. And, by the time we do reverse the trend, it's going to be very obvious. It's not like it's just going to happen all of a sudden. So, again, until we start on like the 4-hour time frame getting above that red moving average, there's no reason to think that this trend's bottoming out.